Have you ever looked around and kind of wondered why so many people today are becoming overweight or developing diabetes? You know, these two health problems are just growing so rapidly all over the world. But hey, here is the absolutely fantastic news. A lot of these cases are entirely preventable. Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack exactly what diabetes and obesity are, why they happen, how they actually impact our bodies, and most importantly, what every single one of us can do to stay healthy and vibrant.
So here is our quick agenda for today. Welcome and introductions, defining obesity and diabetes, warning signs and impacts, healthy choices and habits, and then we'll wrap up with management and prevention.
All right, Section 1, Welcome and Introductions. Meet Alex and Mia.
Welcome to our channel, Learning with AJ7. Grab a seat and let's learn together for a few minutes. To help us out today, I'm super excited to introduce you to two great friends. Meet Alex. He's a really curious teenager, and Mia, his incredibly energetic younger sister. Now, just like a lot of us, they absolutely love snacks, playing video games, and binge-watching cartoons. But today, they're on a mission to figure out exactly how food and exercise affect their growing bodies, and we get to tag along for the ride.
Moving right along to Section 2, Definitions, Obesity and Diabetes.
First up, what actually is obesity? Well, interestingly enough, it's not just about the number someone sees on a scale. Scientifically speaking, it means having an excess amount of body fat. And when a body carries that extra fat, it literally makes it so much harder for everything inside to work properly. And that significantly bumps up the risk of developing a whole host of other diseases.
Next, we've got diabetes. So diabetes is a medical condition that happens when the body just can't properly control the amount of sugar, which is also known as glucose, that's floating around in the bloodstream. Now, sugar gets a bad rap, but it's actually a vital source of energy for us. We literally need it. But when there's consistently way too much sugar hanging out in the blood, it can seriously damage the body over time.
Okay, so inside you there's this amazing little organ called the pancreas. And the pancreas produces a very special hormone called insulin. Now, I want you to think of insulin like a literal key. This insulin key physically unlocks your body's cells so that the sugar in your blood can finally enter and give you that energy you need. Without that key, well, the sugar is just locked out, stuck in the bloodstream.
Now, there are three main types of diabetes we really need to understand here. Type 1 diabetes happens when the pancreas just flat out stops making insulin altogether, so the body basically has zero keys. Type 2 diabetes is a bit different. The body still makes insulin, but it kind of forgets how to use those keys properly. And finally, there's gestational diabetes, which develops during pregnancy. While that one usually goes away after childbirth, it definitely increases future health risks for the mom.
So you're probably wondering, how are obesity and diabetes actually connected? Well, that extra body fat we talked about earlier, it actually gets in the way and makes it much harder for your insulin keys to work. The fat is basically blocking the lock. As a result, all that sugar stays trapped in the bloodstream instead of going into the cells where it belongs. This direct connection is exactly why obesity massively increases a person's risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
All right, Section 3, Warning Signs and Impacts. Listen to your body.
You know, our bodies are incredibly smart, and they give us some pretty clear warning signs when our blood sugar is out of whack. People who are developing diabetes might suddenly feel extremely thirsty all the time, or find themselves constantly hungry, or just dealing with this overwhelming fatigue. They might also notice frequent urination, totally unexpected weight loss, or even blurry vision. Listen, if you or someone you know is dealing with these symptoms, they should absolutely never be ignored. It's just your body's way of flashing a warning light and asking for help.
Which brings us to a pretty massive question. Why are more and more people becoming obese in the first place? Let's quickly shift our focus and look at the everyday lifestyle choices that are actually driving this global trend.
Honestly, the answer really boils down to our modern habits. Gulping down way too many sugary drinks like sodas, eating tons of candy, grabbing highly processed fast foods, it all just packs our bodies with way more energy than we can possibly use. You combine that with spending hours sitting on the couch, watching TV or gaming without getting enough exercise, and guess what? All that unused energy has to go somewhere, so it's stored as excess body fat, leading directly to obesity.
Section 4, Healthy Choices and Habits, Foods and Exercise.
Building a healthy body totally starts with what we decide to put on our plates. A solid, healthy meal should be packed with colorful fruits and vegetables, beans, fish, eggs, whole grains, and nuts. Oh, and please don't forget to hydrate with plenty of clean water instead of those sugary sodas. These nutrient-dense foods are exactly what keep our bodies strong, functioning perfectly, and they dramatically drop the risk of both obesity and diabetes.
And hey, never forget, exercise is literally medicine. Keeping your body moving is absolutely one of the best ways to keep your blood sugar in check. Whether it's walking, running, dancing in your living room, swimming, cycling, or just kicking a football around, it all helps your body burn off that energy so it doesn't end up stored as fat or trapped as sugar in your blood. Just keep moving.
Taking a quick time out from our lesson with Alex and Mia. If you're enjoying this explainer and finding it helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps build our community and lets us keep creating awesome educational content just like this. Okay, let's jump back in. We know what we should be eating and how we should be moving. But what actually happens inside the body if blood sugar stays high for a really long time? Well, this is where the long-term impacts get very serious. When blood sugar stays elevated for years, it acts almost like this slow poison. It starts quietly damaging your delicate blood vessels and your nerves. That means diabetes and obesity can majorly spike the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and even strokes. Plus, all that excess sugar can wreak havoc on the tiny, fragile vessels in your eyes and your kidneys. This is exactly why keeping a healthy weight and going in for regular checkups is just so crucial. Doctors can spot these issues way before they become huge problems.
And that brings us to Section 5, Management and Prevention. Take control.
Look, prevention is just incredibly powerful, and it really all comes down to small, everyday habits that add up to a massive difference. Eating balanced meals, reaching for water instead of soda, prioritizing a good night's sleep, and staying active every single day. These are your absolute best defenses. And never underestimate the power of family teamwork. Cooking healthy meals together, taking an evening walk as a family, just cheering each other on, it makes building those lifelong healthy habits so much easier, and honestly, way more fun.
Now, for those who do end up developing diabetes, it is so important to know that you are absolutely not alone. There's this amazing team of doctors, nurses, dietitians, and healthcare pros totally ready to help. They step in to help manage the condition by teaching great eating strategies, getting the right medicine sorted out if it's needed, and showing exactly how to easily monitor blood sugar. With the right medical advice and some smart daily choices, people with diabetes can go on to live very long, incredibly happy, and super active lives. Let's quickly summarize everything we've covered today. Obesity basically means carrying too much excess body fat, while diabetes is a condition that messes with how the body controls its blood sugar. We saw how these two are deeply physically connected because all that excess fat can literally block our insulin keys, trapping the sugar right there in the blood. But the biggest takeaway, we learned that daily healthy choices like eating right, getting that exercise, and drinking plenty of water can actively protect us and prevent so many cases of type 2 diabetes.
At the end of the day, your health really is your greatest treasure. I want you to remember that every single healthy meal you choose, every walk you take, and every good night's sleep you get is one more positive step toward building a stronger, much healthier future for yourself. But I'll leave you with this. Considering all the hidden sugars packed into our modern diets, do you really know how much energy you're consuming every single day? It's definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for exploring this crucial health connection with me today. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay healthy, stay active, and keep learning.